From this point forward, everything we know about the real world no longer applies.
Is not merely a trial to determine the strongest among us.
The purpose of the pilgrimage is not only to select strong warriors, but also to collect contending fire from the battles.
Natlan is on the verge of destruction. It's very possible our nation has less than a year before total devastation.
We shall unite the tribes and save Natlan from its impending doom.
What use is the Gnosis in your hands? And now it falls to me to create new rules for Natlan.
People like us? Let our flames do the talking!
Welcome back, Genshin F2Ps and Swipies, to your version 5.0 special program. And if you guys haven't made me before, my name is Josh or Jshoea, and let us break down some of the most important things that you might have missed if you had not watched the special program. We're not only going to, showcase some of the highlights of the special program, but we are going to break down what they actually mean and the applications for you as a player, whether you guys are beginners, whether you guys are veterans, and whether you guys are just coming back to the game after an extended break. So firstly, we got to talk about redemption codes. We are going to highlight and showcase the redemption codes right now, right over here. So make sure you guys redeem them first. Okay, pause this video, go to your Genshin game, hopefully in the next 24 hours after this video is posted. Now, as that is out of the way, let us begin with the couple of highlights that I want to, in particular showcase as far as the new content goes. Now, firstly, one of the larger pieces of content in the first act of the special program is the characters. Firstly, let's go through the 4-star character. I want to mention the 4-star character first, very, very quickly. Kachina. Kachina is going to be, I believe, our very first 4-star Geo Chibi character, which is amazing. She is incredibly cute. And of course, much like to be including a very special terrain traversing mechanic, in particular with Kachina. She's going to have this little drill that is able to go up walls, which is really, really cute. And Kachina, not only is she going to be accessible as a 4-star unit, she is going to be a free 4-star unit. Yes, you can obtain Kachina as a free 4-star character at the beginning of the 5.0 patch, very much like how Lynette was a free character. Very much so, you can get Kachina. She will be available at a certain adventure rank, most likely past adventure rank, I believe either 35 or so, maybe even 30, just because they're rolling back adventure rank 28 to gain access to Natlan. We'll mention that in a little bit. Then our very first 5-star character coming to Natlan version 5.0 is Mualani. She is going to be a Hydro Catalyst user, And when I first initially saw her animations, I thought the Catalyst was the shark. I was very wrong about that. That's not the shark. She has, I think, like a slingshot-esque auto attack mechanic. So that's going to be a part of her catalyst weapon. It is not the shark. I wish her weapon was the shark. It'd be so cool. But Mualani, very much like, again, Kachina and the other Natlan characters we are going to describe, each of them have a special traversing mechanic. Mualani's is her Wave Rider, the shark. It's incredibly cute. She's able to zip zap zop across waters and even across these like little rainbow bridge looking things. Mualani has probably some of the best movement mechanics that we've seen in the game, and her ultimate is super, super cute. Basically, she blows up the little shark like a balloon and just like shoots them at the enemies like a missile. It is incredibly cute, incredibly potent, and very, very fun to play. Mualani, honestly, as the starter character, out of the box, looking at, characters like Linny, looking at characters like, Ayaka, right? I think Ayaka was the first character of Inazuma. And then Tainari was the first character of Sumeru. Mualani comes to us as probably one of the most prominent 5-star characters, and she is incredibly fun to play with. I think everyone is going to want to pick her up. She is so much fun to use. She has a very, very special ability. She's Hydro, which, as we guys know, Hydro is a very, very strong unit in Genshin Impact, right? Being able to not only run vaporize reactions with Pyro. If you guys are relatively new to Genshin or coming back to Genshin and haven't really experienced the Dendro element, Mualani can integrate herself into interactions such as Hyper Bloom, Bloom, right? So those are incredibly strong. So Mualani going to be our first unit there in the Hydro category, which is very, very interesting. She's a Hydro unit, introducing us the Pyro region. So hey, that's a fun little contradiction there. Then we hit up Kanich. Kanich is coming to us as a Dendro, I believe, Dendro sword user. No, not sword, excuse me, Claymore user. He is a Claymore user. There we go. Kanich, our first S-tier Dendro Claymore user. Kave is 4-star. Yes, he is 5-star. There we go. Kanich has a very, very peculiar mechanic for traversing, and it is tied to him being a part of the clan of the Bears of the Canopy. Now, he basically is able to just launch himself via these sort of like ley lines or these particular vines, these like extension vines. And he not only can use them to traverse, you know, and swing around different scenery, he can also latch them onto enemies and basically just swing around them. It's a very interesting mechanic. We haven't really seen this. We've seen it kind of with Dory, but not to this extent where he literally latches on and kind of spins around. So he'll be able to deal damage, and then after maybe he gains a certain amount of gauge or something, he can launch this like huge like bow and arrow crossbow attack. Looks super cool. They actually already mentioned the event preview wish for Phase 1 and Phase 2. Mualani comes with Kazuha. Oh my goodness. I believe this is probably going to be one of the best-selling banners because Mualani is such a polarizing character, and Kazuha already such a prevalent, strong meta character that we've already seen in the game. And you can get extra copies of Kachina. This banner is going to be amazing. I think the banner sales for this Phase 1 is going to be incredible. Then moving on to Phase 2, I'm not too sure about this banner. I know Raiden Shogun is still a very prevalent character, but seeing as how there are so many other new characters and new ways to play, I feel like Raiden Shogun might be a little outdated for some folks. Of course, if you're aiming for constellations, if you're just aiming to even just get a copy of the character, she's extremely valuable as an offensive unit. And then Kanich. Kanich is another, again, Natlan character with some new mechanics, you know, especially for those who like the, you know, cool, edgy shonen characters. You guys are going to like Kanich, and you guys are also going to love Ajah, who is the little 2D dinosaur dragon dude that kind of rides with him. Kanich is a pretty cool character. I think he has a lot going for him, but this Phase 2, I think it just does not do as well as Phase 1. That Phase 1 is just absolutely loaded. So let me know in the comments if you guys are going to be pulling for any of these banners. You know, again, Mavuika is in the near future, potentially in 5.2. Man, these banners are going to be very hard to skip. And not only for the character previews, we also have the event previews. Now, I did want to mention this as a very, very slight pseudo announcement because you do get a free 4-star weapon. So very much to the, you know, how we are getting a free Kachina, we are also getting a free 4-star weapon if you participate in the Traces of Artistry, including events of Thorns and Crowns, Doroko's Boombastic Escapade, which looks super cute. It looks really, really cute. Again, any Klee event, super cute. We also have Mementos of Teyvat and Leyline Overflows just for extra resources, which is covered by my big head. So really good events to start off 1.0. Then our next large announcement is, of course, the 4th anniversary benefits overview. Yes, we are going to get a free 10 pull in the form of 1600 Primogems alongside another 10 free pull that we are getting from the get-go of 5.0. So that's basically 20 free pulls. We are getting something called the Sanctifying Elixir, which I'll mention in a little bit. That make sure you remember that name, chat. The Sanctifying Elixir. Fragile Resins, Firstborn Fire Sprite, which is a little, you know, unique anniversary pets, very much to the effects of the Cloud Retainer and the Zeelies that you can wear as an accessory on, you know, the side, and it just floats around next to your character. Very, very cute. And then you get the Kaboom box, which I assume is maybe something oriented around the lines of just, you know, making explosions or fireworks or something. That'd be cute. Then we also have initial top-up bonuses resetting after version 5.0 update. This is huge, especially for those veterans, especially for those who are like, hey, you know, I don't have as much time to, you know, farm all the you know, materials and all the Primogems. I would just like to do an extra top up just to, you know, do the couple extra pulls needed for my 5-star. Make sure you guys are exhausting your top up bonuses before the 5.0 update. This is the one big thing that you guys need to pay attention to moving into the anniversary, which I believe is August 28th or September 28th. It might be September 28th. Somebody in the chat, somebody in comments, correct me on that. It's something 28. Now, remember how I told you to remember the name Sanctifying Elixir? This is where this item comes in. This is a special item by which you can obtain the artifact transmuter, or the elixirs basically. And what you will do with this artifact transmuter as well as the elixirs is being able to change the main stat and substats of your crafted artifacts. Yes, we are getting craftable artifacts in the same vein as Honkai Star Rail's self-modded resin. We are getting this and more. By using these elixirs alongside the transmuter, you can craft an artifact of your choice. And not only that, you're able to define the main affix, which is your main stat. And then if you use multiple elixirs, you can also define your minor stats, meaning that, of course, this could lead you to your onset goblet with double crit. This could lead you to your crit damage main stat, crit rate substat, or vice versa. This could lead to your attack sands with double crit, or whatever, you know, scaling stats you need. This is incredibly useful. However, again, two things that you need to obtain: the transmuter and the elixirs. All right, this is very difficult to pull off. So as seen down here on the bottom right, I had to move my camera there. It does cost four sanctifying elixirs in order to define your main affix and minor affixes. Now, actually, I was taking a look at what they were doing earlier, and to define the main affix yet also sub affixes, it all costs 4. So you will need to get 4 anyways. And not only that, you will be able to define the main stat and both the substat. So it's like a one cost thing for everything. Does that make sense? So it's not like, oh, you can define your main affix and then you can just forget about the 2 minor affixes and then it costs less. No, you need to do 4 cost, yet it gives you the option also for 2 minor affixes. This is big. Next are the Primogems. Now, many of us are weary of a lot of Primogems, you know, especially because this region is incredibly large. You guys might be a little hesitant in order to explore this region just because it is so vast, it is so incorporated with a lot of the characters. There's a lot of new story aspects. So how are you guys able to get Primogems, and are the Primogem counts higher? To answer that second question, yes, it is. So firstly, we are taking a look at the Shrine of Depth here, and the Shrine of Depth, actually, if I can roll it back just a few paces here, let me just like Yahtzee. So it does give us 80 Primogems over, I believe, the previous 40 or 30. I'll probably put, post some correction in the comments, but they only gave us so many. Now we're getting an increased amount of Primogems, and up to a total in exploration, as so far as, what we cover in terms of these extra Primogems and resources from the Statue of the Seven, you are getting an increased 1600 Primogems. So after completing most, if not all, of the encompassing content, that includes the new regions, of course, you are gaining a total of extra 10. Now that, in the grand scheme of things, does sound small, but there's more. After completing versions 5.0 Archon Quest, version 5.1's Archon Quests, and version 5.3's Archon Quest, we are going to be obtaining 500 extra Primogems on top of the free extra Acquaint Fate pull that we actually get through the Adventurer's Handbook. This means that we're generally, let's round up here, we're getting another free 10 pull after finishing the 3 main Archon quest lines. incredible. Next is a change to the banners. Yes, there is going to be a change to the banner system, and it's not what you think. Let's take a look. So as you can see here, they're pulling a 5-star, and it looks like a regular pull up. Whoa, look at that. Let's roll it back the tape one more time, and you can see it turns into an Acquaint Fate pull. Look at this. You know, this is what's going to be called the crit, or I'm going to be dumbing it just because, you know, they probably have their own system, but I'm going to be calling it the crit wish system. Now, this very much mimics, if you guys are Pokemon fans, the crit capture system, whereby which if you are to crit capture a Pokemon, you automatically 100% get that Pokemon. Here in the crit wish system, if you manage to crit wish a character, you will automatically get 100% the limited 5-star character. Now, there are some caveats that I will mention in another exclusive video. TLDR, you only can be at the 50-50 state. So if you already confirmed the character, you can never crit. You must be in the 50-50 state to be able to crit. You know, dive into a little bit more on the specifications on crit wishing. But that is the change to the limited banners. You can now crit wish the limited banner character. Really, really cool. That's an awesome change. And there are some pros, yet even some cons. You guys might think it's all a pro, but there are some cons to that system. So I will go over that in another full-length video diving into the wishing system, because there is a lot to talk about, even though it seems very, very minimal. Next, as you can see, oh my goodness, look at the Mualani Surf's Up signature 5-star catalyst. It looks so cute. It's like a little bird inside of a whale or a shark or something like that, but that looks so unique as a 5-star weapon. And well, more importantly, check the fate point. We only are epitomized pathing 1 point. That's right, folks. We are getting a reduced epitomized path program to now only include 1 fate point instead of 2. Now, they glazed over this. They're like, oh yeah, it's only 1 fate point now too. Great. But for the folks at home, you guys know that 1 5-star pull is equivalent to around 100 to 150 USD, and that might even be more depending on what region you live in. So this actually is an incredible change to buff up the weapon epitomized path system to make it a lot more encouraging for players to pull on said weapons. In the past, right, again, those $150, $200, $300 was not worth to risk, in particular with certain weapons. Of course, if you guys are, you know, dolphins or whales, you guys are going to be pulling anyways. But this means that we can now save up some of our resources to get even more characters down the line. You know, let's say you were trying to pull for a character and their weapon. Before, you might have had to go to full fate epitomized path, and then you were down a couple $100. You couldn't pull on the second phase banner character, right? Now you can. So this is a huge, huge change in favor of the players. And of course, to wrap up wishing, we have the 5-star selector. I cannot believe my eyes. I personally thought they wouldn't include a 5-star selector just because, you know, if they were to implement some other systems by which we can gain 5-star characters a little bit faster and more consistently, then we wouldn't even need the system. But they are going to include a 5-star character selector during the anniversary. Invite a 5-star character of your choice from the standard Wish Wanderlust invocation. And this could potentially mean that if they include more characters down the line, of course, that means more characters in the pool of the 5-star selector. And let me know in the comments down below, which characters are you going to be pulling? I am probably going to pick up Jshoea or Tignari. I think I even might pick up Tignari just because I have C4 and C5 could be good. C6 is pretty solid too. My D is at C2, I think. So C3 is not too, it doesn't move the needle too much. Let me know in the comments who you're going to pick up. And folks, one of the last big changes is actually to Imaginarium Theater. We are getting a new critical, quote unquote, higher difficulty mode called the Visionary mode. And this is going to allow us to, you know, increase the difficulty of the Imaginarium Theater, which a lot of folks have been mentioning. The Imagine Theater for veterans is actually super easy. Not to say that, again, it's available for everybody because it is locked behind you building characters, right? So this Visionary mode is going to be for pure veteran players who have a very, very wide breadth of built characters, a whole breadth and slew of characters, including maybe even some of the Natlan characters to be included in the limited pool, the selected pool of characters. I think this is going to be a very interesting change, and not only do you get a higher difficulty, well, of course, we are getting more resources. Yes, we have a whole performance tour reward for the critical mode and a debut performance gift for the critical mode. So that's even more Primogems in the pocket. This is a huge change, and especially for folks who are like, I like where they were going with the Imagineering Theater, but we just need that next step. This is that next step, and increased rewards. I don't think we could have asked for more. This is incredible. But in another video, I'm actually going to mention some of the story implications that the special program had mentioned. In particular, I'll give you one hint right here that Capitano's delusion is Pyro. As you can see here, he is a cryo user, but seems like he's Pyro. Or it could be reversed where he's actually Pyro, and then the delusion right there that he could be using in the ice delusion. It could be flip-flop. But he does affiliate with Pyro in some way, and we're going to review more to you in another video. But let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought of the special program. Hopefully we guys gave you the best of the best information, the highlights, so then you don't have to watch a whole 2 hours and then, you know, spend your last 30 minutes being like, hey, are they going to mention anything with the voice actors? Yeah, we're here to give you the best and the brightest information, and the fastest too. Hopefully, you know, you're seeing this video first. And I'm excited to announce that I will also be hosting a $100 pull session for Mulan. More information on that in the coming videos. Make sure you guys are subscribed and like this video so we can push this out in the algorithm. I want to be able to share more Genshin with you guys. Click on our next video here because YouTube thinks you'll like it. Thank you so much for joining in. My name is Josh. Call me Jshoea, Joshua, anything with the J, and we'll see you guys in the next video.